Having travelled all over the world, including Florida, which has got some of the biggest swamps on the planet, you don't find any peat on the bottom of the swamps. In fact, you find just white shells 99.9% of the time, plus a few alligators that you need to watch out for when you're doing research there. So, number one, in the tropical areas that I've travelled, you find no accretion, no build-up of peat swamps. Having got a Scottish heritage, I've wandered all over the north of Scotland, which is full of peat swamps, because peat forms when there is less decay in winter than there is build-up in the summertime. So the rapid growth in the 10 or 12 weeks of warm summer in Scotland is never lost in the next winter. So every year it builds up a little bit. In fact, I came across one deposit where the trees had obviously been barraged down by a bulldozer ice sheet, and they were still on the bottom underneath the peat, and the peat had grown over the top as the cold of the ice had been replaced by just bogs. So peat swamps are characteristic, as you said, on colder areas like the top of Tasmania. And they never, if you go looking in coal, I have to really work hard to even try and find deposits of moss in coal, because sphagnum moss is not an ingredient in coal formation at all. Most coal is made of pine bark, made of branches, made of stuff that is usually associated with Australia or South America or England when it was warmer. So your coal statements are pure evolutionary indoctrination. So tragic, but true. They've lied to us at the best because they're ignorant, but in most cases, as you saw, it was a stated aim of a not-for-profit organisation, which obviously the government approves of to give them tax deductibility status. It's tragic, but funded evolution is ruining our national parks. I liked your horses you showed, Craig, and if anybody's visiting Tasmania, they should go to the little town outside of Launceston where Mr. Brumby is buried. Brumby, by the way, is the name us Aussies call wild horses. And the reason is because of a horse owner in Tasmania who was pretty careless with his gates. And he was always known for having Mr. Brumby's horses wandering all over the place. And so here in Queensland, where we have lots of wild horses too, we call them Brumbies. But he's buried in a churchyard, an Anglican churchyard, not far away from where you are, Craig. So going to Tasmania, visit and have a look at some of these historic characters who've left their name in our Aussie history,